Give us a wrap after the elections that were taking place at the ANC elective conference in Pietermaritzburg. Ayanda, a very good afternoon to you. Now, let's go back to that list of the new leadership. Take us through who is occupying which positions now.
Alicia, the list of leadership, the new chairperson of the ANC will lead the ANC in the province is Sihle Zikalala. Sihle Zikalala was the secretary of the ANC, is now the former secretary of the ANC. Of course, he had been contesting that position of chairperson with the premier of KZN, Senzo Mchunu. They will be deputized, or Sihle Zikalala will be deputized by Willis Mchunu. Willis was the deputy, and he was the deputy chairperson in the province. We also had the new secretary of the province is Super Zuma. Super Zuma was the chairperson of the, or still is the chairperson of the Moses Mabhida region. That brings us, and the treasurer as well. We have Nomusa Dube-Ncube. She is the new treasurer. She previously was the former deputy secretary of the ANC in the province, and that is the list of the new leadership that was voted by delegates here in KZN. 1,459 delegates voted.
Ayanda, very interesting. You know, we spoke yesterday about the female leadership, and I'm very pleased to hear that you've actually mentioned one of the names as having occupied the top positions. Tell us a bit about her.
The top position, Nomusa Dube-Ncube as a treasurer. Yes, she was, of course, the deputy secretary before assuming that new position. As a well-respected leader within the ANC, we also know that she's currently the MEC for cooperative governance here in the province. She's also held positions in the municipality and a number of positions of leadership within the ANC. As I said, she's a well-respected leader. And I think looking at the number of votes as well that she got for that position, that clearly the delegates and the members of the ANC have a lot of faith in her and in her leadership.
Ayanda, look, we had SANEF chairperson here earlier on, and we posed a question to him that won't this, the new leadership, cause new dimensions within the party? The fact that Senzo is still the premier, will this not cause any power issues within the organization in KZN?
Well, that is a matter that the NEC, in fact, dealt with during the media briefings of some of the questions that were posed to the NEC. And the NEC said, no, it's not new. They made reference to an examples of Gauteng, where the premier is Mr. David Makura, and we have the chairperson there being Paul Mashatile. They also referred to the Northern Cape, and particularly they said here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, their comrades here and these leaders have a very good relationship. At the moment, they do not feel that there is going to be any issues between those two leaders. The province of KwaZulu-Natal has in the past been very united, and the leaders are urging that going forward, of course, they want to unify the organization moving forward. But let me just now, I have a guest now with me. Let me just now bring in the chairperson of the Youth League, Thamsanqa Ngubane. And of course, the Youth League, as we know, has been very much a part of the conference and campaigning very vigorously for one of the candidates. But I now have the pleasure of Mr. Ngubane joining us. Just firstly, Thamsanqa, thank you very much for joining us. Just your comments on the election of the new leaders.
We are very much grateful as the African National Congress Youth League of KwaZulu-Natal that the view that we have in terms of the leadership perspective has been embraced by the structures of the ANC. As you know, 90% of the people who made a determination on any decision that will be taken in the conference, including the issue of leadership, 90% comes from the branches. So we are very much happy that we had a perspective as the Youth League and it was embraced by the structures of the ANC. Indeed, what Comrade, the former President Peter Mokaba once said, that indeed the Youth League is not about numbers, because we're only 15 there. You know, we've got a 15 people representation, but it's not about numbers. The Youth League is about influence. So actually, that's really translated into a reality. We're very much happy.
Something in the build-up to the conference, and no doubt the Youth League was very vocal, backing Sihle Zikalala, particularly why the support that you had given to Zikalala.
It is because we have made an analysis. There are challenges that are facing the organization. There are challenges that are facing the people of KwaZulu-Natal. We made that analysis first, and it is that analysis which then informed us what type of the leadership that you then require to take the revolution into new heights. We then arrive, we look to all the comrades, we then arrive on the name of Comrade Zikalala as the chairperson and the rest of the perspective. As you could see, we always say the ANC is a broad church, and even if you look at the officials, it's a reflection of a broad church. You've got Zikalala and Comrade Ndobe, who's a deputy secretary, coming from the ranks of the Youth League. You've got Comrade Willis, who's currently the central committee member of the SABC. He also has a background of unions. Comrade Sopa he cut his political teeth in the unions and so on. So it's quite a balanced leadership.
And before I let you go, it has been a rather fierce battle. The leaders from the NEC, the president himself, Tamzang, speaking about unity. Going forward, we know the divisions that have been risen as a result of this conference. For yourselves as the Youth League, I'm sure you want to now see the organization coming together and going forward.
No, thanks very much. The unity in the ANC, once you remove unity, there is no ANC. Unity is one of the principles that the ANC is built upon. If you remove it, it won't be ANC, it will be something else. But I want to say, in as much as we had differences, I must say that we're a democratic organization. There'll always be divergent of views and so on, but that does not then translate us into enemies. You know, if you agree about the vision or the destination, to us that is fundamental. How you actually achieve that is tactical. So we had tactical differences, and we don't want to believe that we'll then confuse the two, the tactical differences that we had with fundamentals.
Tamsang, thank you very much for your time. Tamsang Ngobane, the chairperson of the ANC Youth League in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, just giving us his perspective from the Youth League on the election of the new leaders. We are also, I know Alicia spoke earlier on about one of the females that is in the top 5. We are later on also trying to get a chance to chat to the Women's League. They have been also pushing, particularly now that we are going to be hearing the nominations for the additional members. They want to see the gender parity. It's very, very important from the ANC. Looking at the top 5 at the moment, of course, we only have one female, so they would want to see more women being nominated in that in the additional members of the PEC.
Ayanda Mhlongo live to us from Pietermaritzburg at the ANC's elective conference. Let's now continue.